Welcome back to Real English 2. In today's session, we will talk about how to design our own training routine to follow for the next 3 months and help us improve our English skills. This routine is meant to help us acquire more English, making it part of our daily life. This will translate into significant improvements in reading, writing, speaking, and listening, the four skills. Your vocabulary and grammar will also improve, but in a more natural way. You won't be doing exercises or taking tests to prove this to anyone. To design our training and ensure we implement it successfully, we need to make sure our goals are smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time framed. Let's see an example. Let's imagine I want to improve my English for work. How? Specific, because I want to be more confident for work. Measurable, so I participate more minutes, more actively in meetings, use the translator less and less, and write more quickly in English, and understand my partners without asking for repetition. Achievable, because I won't aim for level C2 if I'm just getting started. Realistic, because it needs to be according to the time I actually have available. And finally, time framed, let's say 2 weeks, 1 month, or 3 months. That will depend on how measurable and specific my goals are. My recommendation is to go for 3 months so that you can see results and we can take it step by step. Okay, so we have our SMART goals. Now, the first thing to reflect on is the habits you want to integrate into your daily routine. To design your training, you need to create a structure where you can add English input and activities. Start by looking at your calendar. Google Calendar works very well, or simply just your weekly agenda. Visualize your daily and weekly activities. Know when you're busy and when you have free time, and make adjustments where necessary. Once you have your macro structure, let's say work, workout or train, English course, I don't know, dance or yoga sessions. Okay, once you have that macro structure, basically your day and week mapped out, we can dive into something called habit stacking. If you've read Atomic Habits by James Clear, you'll be familiar with this. Write down every habit or activity you do daily. Split your day into morning, afternoon, and evening. This way, it's easier to focus on specific parts of the day instead of overwhelming yourself with a long list. Let me show you a bit of my morning routine. I get up at 6:30, wash my face, make mate at 6:45, and while the water heats, I clean my cat's litter box. I like to keep my apartment smelling fresh. I light an incense while I make toast, sit down at the table, and have breakfast while journaling about two things: what I am grateful for and the tasks I need to complete that day. After breakfast and journaling, I brush my teeth, get dressed, do my skincare, and plan my classes. Then I have my lessons, followed by lunch. Habit stacking is about adding new English habits into your existing routine. For example, I could listen to English podcasts while brushing my teeth or getting dressed. That's easier than just saying at 3 p.m., I will listen to English podcasts. This way, you're stacking a habit to a previous existing habit. I could also write my morning journal in English. For example, I could send WhatsApp audio notes in English instead of Spanish. Even small moments count. Reading an article on the public transport, listening to podcasts while showering, it all adds up. By consistently using these micro moments, you can train English more than, I don't know, 5, 8 hours a week. In 3 months, that's over 100 hours. A huge step toward fluency. Now, about skills. You don't need traditional exercises to improve your English. What you need is to make English part of your life in a natural and motivating way, like native speakers do. When these things happen, your brain internalizes the structures, making it easier to use the language when needed. Train all four skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Look at your own interests and needs. For example, I could read about neuroscience in English because I'm passionate about it. I could write down tasks for my business or ideas for upcoming content. I could record myself speaking in an oral journal instead of writing everything down. I could listen to podcasts about entrepreneurship, motivation, or finances. Keep your input varied and interesting. Focus on what excites you. Another important thing to consider is that life changes, so your input might change too. For example, if a friend and I start to plan a trip to Mexico, I could start reading about Mexican culture in English, follow travel influencers on YouTube, or listen to podcasts about Mexican art or cuisine. If I have an upcoming work meeting, I could listen to interviews or podcasts to learn more natural ways in which people explain concepts or solve problems. Be smart and resourceful. Seek out the content that aligns with your goals. The key is consistency, motivation, and integrating English naturally into your life. That's how we make it happen. Now, let's talk about making your English training fun, tracking your progress, managing your energy, and staying motivated. First, forget about levels. Focus on competence in different areas. You might start by listening to a podcast for 1 minute until you lose focus. Next time, try a minute and a half. Gradually, you can build up to 15 minutes, then 30, and eventually longer sessions. It's all about small, consistent steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your English, nor mine. I call it English training because it's more than studying. It's about building a lifestyle around English. And I have been doing this for 15 years. And the habits I've built have gotten me where I am today, without living abroad or speaking with natives all the time. What matters is consistent, motivated practice. Start small. Listen to a podcast for a few minutes, read a short article, or write a few sentences. Each session adds up. Over time, you'll notice that your focus improves, your understanding deepens, you engage more with the message of the input, and your confidence then grows. Now, multitasking can help. Combine activities that choose different types of attention. Go for a walk and record an audio note about your day. Yes, you'll feel the cringe at first, but eventually it wears out. Or wash the dishes while listening to a podcast. Go to the gym while listening to a TED Talk. This prevents procrastination and helps English become part of your daily life, not just a 30-minute study session. To keep things exciting, connect your English practice with your identity. Language reflects who we are, so choose the version of yourself you want to express or build into. Do you want to be more outgoing? Then join forums, Facebook groups, or online communities where you can write and speak in English and connect with others. Or grab a buddy, a friend, colleague, or partner. Share your goals and challenges. This makes learning more fun, keeps you accountable, and gives you support along the way. And don't forget to track your progress. Notice the small improvements, understanding more of a podcast, reading longer without translating every word, or just focusing on the message, staying focused for longer periods. Celebrate these wins. They are proof that consistency works. And also listen to yourself and respect your energy levels. Some days you might be tired, stressed, or not in the mood. Adjust your training to that. Maybe music instead of a podcast, or reading a lighter article. English is not a race, it's a lifestyle, and change takes time. Finally, make your English practice fun and challenging. To spice things up, cook a meal with a friend while speaking only in English. You don't have to do this every day, but maybe once a week. Or buy yourself that book in English. Shop on an English website. Attend a concert of your favorite English speaking artist or band. Choose activities that excite you because passion fuels consistency. And remember, consistency, motivation, and identity driven practice are the keys. Small daily steps build your fluency, so make English part of your life and eventually it becomes second nature. So you've got this. Keep going, stay curious, and enjoy the journey. And thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next session. Bye.